Well, did you know therapy can begin in the kitchen? Joining us live this morning, not only to show us how to make a little gazpacho, also to help us understand why culinary therapy is so healing, is Julie Ohana. She's the founder of Culinary Art Therapy in Bloomfield Township. Good morning. Thanks for giving us some time.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
Hey, so let's just start with the obvious before we do some cooking. So what is culinary arts therapy?
Yes, I know it sounds totally crazy, but I believe that cooking can be therapeutic, and it can be therapeutic in the clinical sense. I am a licensed clinical social worker, or it can be therapeutic just in the sense of it makes you feel good, and especially in these crazy times, who doesn't need something in their life that can just make them feel a little bit better?
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of, let's say me and my family, we cook together, okay, that can be therapeutic. But you're also taking it further, or am I wrong to say that, for instance,
Yes.
you and I would cook together, and you're also a licensed therapist, so there would be some work on multiple levels going on there.
Correct. So whenever I meet with any of my clients, and that could be an individual, it could be a family, it could be a small group session, I always talk to the client and really get a sense of what are their goals, what are they looking to get out of the session, and work with them so that they can get the most out of it. So really the process is cooking together, but definitely talking and chatting and really working together in a way that would be a little bit more elevated than just cooking in your kitchen by yourself.
Totally. What skill set does one need to dip their toes into this realm?
So the skill set in terms of the professional, I like to think that a trained mental health professional is really best at this, because otherwise anybody can just be cooking in their kitchen. But really what I do when I'm working with my clients is I know what questions to ask. I know based on what their goals, what they want to do together, I know how to kind of elicit that discussion and the conversation to come out in a way that is going to be the most beneficial for them. And in terms of skill set for the client, that is anything and everything. As long as somebody has an open mind and a willingness to try something a little bit out of the box, then they are suited for culinary art therapy. Okay,
there you go. No skills required on our end. All right, good. So let's get to cooking, shall we? We saw a little bit of what you have already prepared.
Yes. So I have today, the weather today is supposed to be amazing, so I thought, okay, what better way to get us in the mood for a beautiful spring day than a little spring summer gazpacho, fresh dish. And really this is a great example of something that I use in my program, because you don't need to have recipes that are super, super difficult and complicated and cooking on the stovetop for, 12 million hours to go. You can really do something as simple as all the ingredients that I have here for gazpacho. So I have prepped some gorgeous bell peppers, some cucumber, and here's my favorite technique that I find to be quite therapeutic. You can cut all these in a mini chop, and if I'm in a rush, I will. But what is more cathartic than just doing this? The sound, the senses that are used when you're chopping like this, when you can feel the vegetables they're cutting, it feels good on the senses, and it really helps to evoke a sense of satisfaction, which makes us feel great. So I've got all my veggies chopped here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add our cucumber, our bell peppers into tomato juice, some salt and pepper, a little bit of hot sauce, some fresh lime juice. I'm a huge fan of citrus. And we're just gonna combine all of that in. And if you make a little bit of a mess, that's okay too. It's all part of the process. Stirring. These are all steps together, and especially when you're working with a family, with kids in particular, these are all things that kids can do. So what better way to empower a young person to show them that they can do things in the kitchen? They can start something from start to finish and really feel great about themselves and build that self-esteem. So my secret ingredient to this recipe is I'm adding a little bit of mango juice. So I love gazpacho, but I always find that sometimes the tomato alone is just a little too acidic. So I like to play around and create new recipes and add my own spin, which is another piece to this that really helps to build that confidence and really that sense of self-worth that you can create something. So I added mango juice to mine. Now, another little surprise. This is a nectarine that I chopped up, which again is not traditional in gazpacho. But again, no right or wrong. We're making this our own. So I'm adding some nectarine, a little bit of minced shallot, a little bit of jalapeno. You can make it as spicy or not spicy as you like. Mixing it all together. How good does that look? It looks like it's like a salad in a bowl.
The mouths are watering here in Studio C, Julie.
I wish that you guys could taste this.
We'll have to take a rain check on that and get you in the building. What is the how close are we to completion?
We are complete. We are adding to a little bit of a... We did it. How simple is that? Look at that. Garnish with a little bit of lime juice. You've got your snack in a cup ready to go. Anybody who's going to do this is going to feel great, is going to really feel that sense of accomplishment, go on the rest of their day feeling great and ready to take on the world.
A therapy session and a delicious meal. 2 for 1, we call that. Julie Ohana, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
For more information, you can head to culinaryarttherapy.com.